Okay, so hello and good evening to all of our participants and those who have joined. Today we have gathered for a very interesting and innovative rather session. So today we'll be going over how Bangladeshi graduates can compete in the global tech market. And today we have an honorable guest whom, if I actually give an introduction, it won't do justice to him because he has achieved so much throughout his career. Yet, I'll just give a brief introduction about our guest today. So, our honorable guest is the Director of Professional Studies in Washington University of Science and Technology. He is the International Technology Consultant for Aspire to Innovate Bangladesh and is one of the core co-founders of CloudCamp Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to our honorable speaker today, Mohammad Mahdee Zaman, sir. Sir, it is an honor to have you with us today.
My pleasure as an honor as well. And thank you for organizing such a great, really and timely session. So, again, I'll start with a little bit of my background. I live in the US, I live in New Jersey, but I go to Bangladesh very often. In fact, I was just in Bangladesh in early January, first 2 weeks of January, and we did a AI build-a-thon over there. What I've seen is Bangladesh has tremendous amount of talents, and we all know that. Okay, so and a lot of them can actually do impact globally. Now, possibly we know that. Now, how we can do that globally, how we can be a global contributor, either through job, maybe we get a job in global arena, or maybe we do a startup that has a global impact, or maybe something that we want to do a higher studies or research in education. So typically, these are the three things that I see from the career perspective. So what I've done in my life as well, I came to the US in 91. I don't know, maybe some of you are not even born at that time. And last 35 years, I've been working with technologies, and I've seen over the years various technology transformation and evolution. So I started with telecommunication. I started with a telco, which is Verizon, one of the largest telecommunication in the US. I was there for about 12 years. Then I went to a company called Savis, which is a marketplace. It's a cloud marketplace for financial data feed. Like, whenever you do some sort of stock trading and you need some market data like Reuters and Bloomberg and similar, but you needed it closer to the stock exchange. Millisecond, microsecond matters. It's not, they didn't consider millisecond, microsecond. It could not be down at any moment. So I get to see very large scale stock exchanges, how they connect, interconnect, and do the transactions. I worked there about 6 years, and then I moved to a startup called VirtuStream. VirtuStream was then acquired by EMC, and we became part of Dell. It was a big deal because we started with zero and we became a $1.2 billion company, and then we were acquired by a very large company called Dell. You are familiar with that Dell? Dell makes computers. And I was there for about 10 years. Then I worked for a company called AWS, which is part of Amazon. And I'm sure all of you know. You might not know how many people Amazon employs. Amazon employs about 1.6 million or 16 lakh people. So that's a big company, massively big, way bigger than Dell. Dell used to have 150,000 people, and then Amazon is 10 times of that, more than 10 times of that. So why am I giving you this thing? Because I had some transformation from starting from absolutely no knowledge of technology. My background, I studied in accounting, if you don't know it. And I graduated in accounting from City University of New York, which is a public university, meaning it's a government, it's a New York state runs it. It's not as prestigious at Ivy League as NYU, Columbia, or something. And I basically worked through and learned the skills. So I acquired knowledge through my education, but I learned the skills by myself. I had a full setup at home. Whatever I got, because I was working with routers. If the routers are old, then I got those routers and started doing some networking hands on. What I found out is that if you want to learn something, you have to roll up your sleeve and actually do it. It's not about learning the theory only, because that doesn't give you the skills. And everybody cares about the skill. There is a lot of layoffs, the company is getting rid of people. But when you have the right skill for the right organization at the right time, everybody wants to take you in, not get rid of you. So one lesson that I learned, because I'm in technology side, I have to continuously keep myself up to date about technology. It's not only for technology, it applies for everything else. So that means that you have to evolve and transform yourself to the latest and greatest thing, and it is continuous. There is no end to it. So this is how you make yourself invaluable. Now, let's say your career is to get a job, for example. How did we used to get a job? I used to get a job, an interview, or somebody knows you, somebody appreciates what you do, and then they just find you. Is that right? That's the easiest way to get a job. But then you apply for a job, and that means that there are 100 other people applied for a job, and that is a big deal, because at that time, most chance you are one out of 100. You don't get that job that easily, and 99 of us don't get the job. Only one person gets that job. So how does it work? I mean, I used to hire a lot of people in Amazon, and it's called bar raiser. You can research what bar raiser is. BARRAISER. That's one of the really important role, that the person who interviews the interviewer and make sure that everybody knows exactly what they are hiring. So that was the role that I played. So I understand the interview mechanism. So when you become in interview, you are very uh, you have to have the unique capabilities to actually convince a lot of people, not only the person technically, but also the human resource person, also the recruiter, also the manager, and then your peers, the person that you're going to work with. And everybody has to say you are good. Everybody has to say you're good. Then you're good. One person says you're not good, then you're out, then you are 99 out of 100. When everybody says you're good, then you are 10 out of those 100. And then within those 10 people, you have to fight to become that one. What I talk about is that is 1% rule. 1% rule. Very simply speaking, if you simplify it, you have to be a 1%. You have to be in the 1%, top 1 percentile, to become that career professional who is desired by others. People are looking for you instead of you looking for them. Even if you get a job, they are looking for you. Okay, let me just tell you what is 1% leadership, just that theory of it. Let's say at this moment, this is the AI world. Is that right? Everybody is in the AI world. We are all learning AI. We are all doing kind of like capturing what AI can do for us, learning the skills, and every single day the AI is coming up with something new. Okay. Now, if you're in the AI world and you learn about ChatGPT, that's great. So is 100 other people. In fact, non-tech people are learning about ChatGPT. So there is no difference in becoming an expert on ChatGPT. However, you know how to write a prompt better. You become a little bit better than other 100 people. Okay? You're not a tech yet because everybody is doing prompt. But if you know how to write prompt, which is called prompt engineering, you are a good prompt engineer. People are looking for you. And I'm going to show you a few things anyway in person. So that's something happened. Like you became a little bit better than other people. So there is a lot of people became you came out of it. And I would say that's 1%. Because if you get 100 people who all use ChatGPT, 1% of the ChatGPT people really are good prompt engineer. And that prompt engineering is extremely important. I'm going to show you all of these things in a moment. Then the second thing, now you know prompt engineering, but you're not technical yet, because then you need to know behind the scene what AI is. You need to know various large language models. Let's say, what are the top ones, top five, top 10, You need to know it. Top three, a lot of people will know, technical people. But top five, very few. Top 10, 1% people will know. What does it mean by that? Meaning that now that I became in the tech side that I wanted to become, if I know ChatGPT, which is the parent company's OpenAI, and ChatGPT version 5.2, that's a model. So I learn one model. Then, okay, in Google, this is Gemini Pro, is 3.0, that's another model. 5.3 is the newer model for ChatGPT. So then Anthropic is the parent company, and the Claude is the model, and the Claude version Opus 4.6 is the new model. Okay, good. Now you are getting, and you need to know 10 of those things. Some of those are API based, like ChatGPT and Claude um, and Gemini, they're API based, and DeepSeek, they're API based. But then some of them are locally installed. So you know how to run in the API side, in the local side, and you know 10 of them, not two, three, four, five, but you understand 10 of them very, very well. When do I need to use ChatGPT? When do I need to use Claude Code? When do I need to use Gemini Pro? When do I need to use DeepSeek? When do I need to use Llama? When do I need to use Mistral or GLM? Or Grok. So now that you understand that top 10 of AI, you became that 1% within those people who understand the prompt engineering. So you are the 1% of prompt engineers, which is very, very important, because you need to know the background of it, and then you can write really good prompt. Because remember, you write good prompt, but now I need to write prompt for what? Okay. Then the next thing is, okay, now I am good on at least the technology stack. Then I need to go to applied stack, application of it, still in technology, but how do I apply these things? So there are various vibe coding environment. Like I need to know what Replit is. I need to know Vercel. I need to know Lovable. I need to understand each one of those. How does it work and what's the difference? What is agentic coding? What is agentic vibe coding? What is a plan? What's documentation or markdown files? And then I need to understand the IDE based coding, which is integrated development environment based coding, such as Cursor, such as Kiro, and how does each one of those work? When do I use one versus the other? Because a lot of you might already know how to use VS Code. And then how do you do the plugins and the documentation, make it agentic? So, now you are talking about application of those LLMs that you have learned through prompt engineering. Okay, now I need to build an application. Do I use Cloud Code? Do I use Cursor? Do I use VS Code? Do I use Lovable? What do I actually use? How do I use it? And then you need to understand the token, usage of token, because of the fact that now you're using a lot more. Now you're paying for it. Okay, most of the time you have to pay for it at this stage. So how much, when does it cost? How much does it cost? So once you understand those things, the vibe coding environment, meaning that you are doing a prompt and that's actually creating the plan, generating the documentation, and then building that application, then you become again 1% of all those vibe coder, all those people who are building or creating these codes using AI. Now think about this. You just became, and these are skills available through YouTube, and you can run it locally in your machine. And almost all of them has a free version of it, so that you can get that skill. Once you get that skill in the job market, you become 1% of that 1% of that 1%. So you are very heavily desired at that moment. People are looking for you instead of you looking for them. And how do people know that you're doing it? You got to do proper branding and marketing. Like in LinkedIn, you have to make sure that all of those things are listed with proper details and exactly how well you know it, and it's demonstrated. You have a GitHub account. That's where you post your coding. You have a Medium publication. You have a LinkedIn post and article where you have shown other people how to write prompts, so that you are authoritatively showing the prompt engineering, the tools, and the vibe coding, and the LLMs. You understand the LLMs and the progression of all those things. LLM means large language models, all of those things. So you started to understand the prompt engineering. You became 1% of those, who knows all of those things, technical and non-technical. Then you became technical. Then you understand all the LLMs, large language models, all the things that are out there. And then you started to apply and build that application. Okay. Now I build the application. However, I even need to be more specific, that is enterprise ready or the corporation ready, or it's not a hobby, it's beyond that. What do I need to do? We actually need to understand few things. Was the use case of that particular industry vertical or domain. Like, let's say you want to work for healthcare. Okay, healthcare is very regulated. So, what does regulation mean? How do I do a regulated application using vibe coding, using prompt engineering? And what does it mean? Oh, there are regulations like HIPAA, which is a regulation in the US, but a lot of people follows it. Maybe I am producing something, so FDA, everybody follows it. And there might be a PHI, protected health information, and there might be personally identifiable information. So you understand the regulated industries. It now you're becoming domain expertise, or you are in fintech financials, and that means that you need to understand the rules, auditability, basically. Oh, okay, if I did something, because I'm using other people's money, make sure that I'm doing it right. And it has to be full. It's also regulated, but in different way. Somewhere you're protecting personal information. Here you're protecting other people's money here. And then afterward, you might be using logistics, because there is a logistics, meaning that you have a train, bus, truck, then ship, then planes, and taking one thing from one place to the other, managing the supply chain. So gotta need to understand why does it differ. And the train might be called subway or metro or transit or some other things. So once you start getting the language of the domain, then you became that 1%, because now that you are an expert on technology side, you have to this is one dimension, and the secondary dimension is that you need to be expert on the things that that company that you're going to be working for, organization that you're building, or things that you want to do for somebody, that's going to be actually applicable, actually usable. Okay, so the domain knowledge gives you another dimension of you becoming 1% of that. So you became, let's say for healthcare, so you became the person people are looking for, you who knows how to use AI to build an application for their organization, which is healthcare centric. And there are only few at that time people can find, and you become that one, because then you are also 1% of the healthcare. So all other people who knows vibe coding, only a few people knows about healthcare. Okay, now that I got that, I understand the domain. Now I have to apply for it. And these applications are universal, but you should understand those things, such as workflow automation, because people don't want to do the repeat work. Every day I need to create a report. Why should I do that? Let AI do it. And let that automation to be done by like N8N, make.com, Zapier, one of these tools. So now you are learning the tools for application of within that healthcare industry, or the supply chain, or the manufacturing, or retail, or e-commerce, or whatever that industry is. Now you are becoming that 1% within that industry. Okay, now let's say workflow automation is one use case. fantastic. A lot of people don't understand the workflow automation. Like, what is that process? So if you go to healthcare and if you do a deep research, you can find out all of the things that I can do for that deep research for that particular vertical, for that particular industry. So you are an industry expert and technology expert. Very few people in globally you can find who are that. Now you understand that, oh, okay, now I understand this is the workflow typically when somebody is trying to get patient care, coming in a hospital and scheduling something or scheduling something. So they have to check out for their calendar for their particular problem. And if they can do it in a chatbot and you created that chatbot, created a calendar, that's a $100 billion industry by itself only for the calendar management for healthcare patients. Because a lot of people do see the problem is a doctor comes in or a doctor's office has 10 doctors, okay? Each doctor needs to see 10 patients, for example. And this is how they make money. Otherwise, you have to pay the doctor anyway, so it's a loss for you. Now, if the 10 doctor and they have 100 minutes, so for each patient I give 10 minutes each. That means I have to book that calendar appointment for 10 people. Okay? So I book that appointment. Either people show up in person or it doesn't really matter. But you created an application to do that, manage that one. Because people come in and waiting for a long time, a lot of time is not desired. You say that you come only on your time and then you would be able to see it and go home. Otherwise, you come in and you spend 3 hours. Now you're going to be spending 20 minutes, which is better for anybody. Everybody would love that doctor at that moment. Okay. So they come in. However, 90% of the problem is they don't show up. They make an appointment, but they got busy with other things. So there has to be a follow-up call in the morning. Are you coming? So why does somebody else need to do a call when AI can make the call? Okay, you created a workflow, automated workflow every morning or 2 days before. Call them. Do you still want that appointment? If you want, please confirm. Okay, they confirm it. Okay, good. They're coming. If they're not, if they release it, I add somebody else. Okay. So on the same day, you call again. Hey, are you coming? Because your appointment is 10 o'clock. This is already 8 o'clock. And please confirm this is the direction. You come in this way. So you automate that whole process. So nobody has to touch anything. Before that, I'm actually guaranteeing that there 10 people are coming. Traditionally, minimum 40% no-show rate. If sometimes it's 70-80%. So 40% no-show rate, you're paying the doctor $100, but you only got $40, $60 worth of money. So it means that your company is losing money. Now you come in as a technical expert with domain functional knowledge. You became that 1% of the 1% of 1% of 1% that they are looking for. When you say that, when you do that, your job is guaranteed almost. And nobody is getting rid of you because you understand the business and technology. Now, the next thing, workflow automation is one thing. Then it's the chatbot. Conversational chatbot is the biggest one. And you understand that conversational chatbot. You understand something called retrieval augmented generation or RAG very well. Again, you're using those technologies. And everybody uses differently. For the chatbot is that, oh, I'm on my way. I can say I'm on my way, and people they would understand. Or they say, hold on, I forgot the address. Can you tell me how to get there? Or you can say, what was my last thing? You can just ask conversationally, and it would retrieve that database. So you understand how RAG works, how workflow automation works, and you start using those use cases and deploy and implement it. And the RAG means retrieval augmented generation is called contextual RAG. There is a lot of advancement with vector database, and it's not that tough. All of these things that I'm talking about, you'd truly, you can get all of these things from YouTube in about 90 days. All of it, everything that I talked about. If you spend the time and if you really put your time into it, time and energy into it, you could be that expert. Now, you don't even have to go there to tell people that I'm an expert. You're going to show them. You will build that application, you'll publish in GitHub, and you write an article in Medium, in LinkedIn, in various social media or whatever that choice of that particular industry. And then you continuously write it. And if it is a 90-day journey that you are taking or 6 months, 90-day journey, and you write 2 articles per day, and it's not that tough to do 2 articles with AI, help of AI, and then you should be able to publish 100 articles. Now tell me, if you are publishing 100 articles with technology, with that domain, with that expertise, you are that golden 1% that everybody is looking for. And it is not you are going to them, they come to you. So what I'm going to do, very quickly show you something. I know I might be running a little bit on time, but I'm going to show it because I wanted to leave about 15 minutes for question and answer, okay? So I'll share my screen. Give me 1 second. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
It is visible, yes. We are seeing a ChatGPT 5.2.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'm in ChatGPT. Same thing like everybody, all of you guys have it. I'm going to say that, oh, okay, what is that prompt? First thing that I told about is that I need to, we all use ChatGPT, but I want to use prompt engineering, properly writing prompt. How do I do that? Very simple. What is better than asking the person who's the expert on it? Who is expert on writing a prompt for ChatGPT? ChatGPT. So instead of I write it, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to write it. And instead of typing, because it takes a long time, I'm just gonna be talking to them. Okay. So let's start doing that. And I'm gonna show you this is what prompt engineering. You are a really good prompt engineer when you can do something like that. Okay. I want to write the best possible prompt for the following. I am building a career with AI where I can be the best AI engineer, developer, and domain expert for healthcare industry in the US, serving the hospitals. And I want to be the best possible person with all the desired skills and the skills people are not even talking about. I want the skills to protect me for next 10 years, where the skills are coming for this industry, for regulation, for technology, for applications, for all of those things. And I want to be invaluable for that particular industry and that particular organization. Find all the skills, skill gaps, analyze what I have, as well as what I need to do. I need to be that expert with understanding all the skills, building a brand, publishing those articles uh, in various format and in various distribution channel. Within next 90 days, I'm willing to spend 4 hours every day to become that expert. Now give me the prompt only in a code block. So you saw that exactly what I just told you. I am asking ChatGPT to do the same thing. Okay. So here I want to write, you see that the best possible prompt for following whatever I told him, but I didn't ask him to do it. I asked it to give me the prompt because ChatGPT is the expert of writing the prompt. So because I asked for the prompt, it's not giving me the answer. It's actually writing the question. Asking the question is the best prompt engineering technique that you can get. And this is something that you need to understand. You must ask for something called meta prompt or the master prompt. Okay. So this actually says that it's a master prompt. Remember, I didn't ask for all the stuff. See here, a 10-year defensible AI healthcare career blueprint for US hospital focus. Okay. Oops, sorry, it changed again. Okay. So, US hospital focus. You are a multidisciplinary expert panel consists of US healthcare CIO, CMIO, Chief Medical Information Officer, healthcare AI architect, HIPAA and healthcare compliance attorney, FDA. So you are 1%, 1% of 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 1%. You are that golden 1%, one in a million person expert. You are expert on all of these things. Imagine that. And the mission is to design decision grade 10-year defensible career. And the output must have all of these things. Context should be this. Okay. Again, I asked for, oops, sorry, something. Okay. Okay. So I asked for all of these things, but I don't know how to ask. So I ask the expert, give me the question how to ask. That's your prompt. So if I would have been able to write this whole prompt by myself, I would be the best prompt engineer, but I don't have to be because I want other tools which is available to you. Let's say deliverable structure, strict, meaning that must follow this. Section 1, section 2, complete the skill matrix, industry landscape, to 2025 to 2035, categorical input, must include, HL7, fire, these are the protocols, okay. So it actually created a fantastic one. Now, I asked it to put it in a code block. That means it writes other things, but oops, sorry, something happening. Okay, I can click on that copy right here, and then I'm going to create another new ChatGPT prompt. This is called context clearing because I don't want it to understand that I'm going to be doing the asking for a prompt. Here, I am asking for I wrote the prompt, and this is what it's actually going to do. I can remove the first line. It doesn't have to have the first line. If I keep it, that's okay too. And then it gave a role, context, and output. Role, context, and output. Typically, those three things you need in a good prompt engineering. Oops, something happened. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I see that prompt, and then my mouse doesn't work anymore. So what I did, again, why did I start a new one? It's called context zero. What happened is that whenever you are asking a chat creates a context in the memory. That means that it remembers what you asked for. So it is going to try to make a relationship, because before I ask for a prompt, it might think that I still need a prompt, which I don't. I actually want a real answer of the question. That means prompt is a question. So I'm not needing a question anymore. I need an answer at this moment. So look, so I got it because the way that I asked for here, the section by section, what did I ask for? Section 1, if I go back. Section 1 is the industry landscape, because I need to understand that, oops, something, and this one. I need to understand, okay. Section 1 is this. Major AI transformation in hospitals, because I said that I want to be in healthcare in the hospitals. What's the tech stack? What are the things that I need to know? Again, oops. Okay. So in that section 1, major AI transformation in hospitals, ambient document in clinical workflow, huge. It takes tremendous amount of time in documentation in clinical workflow. Okay. Oops, give me 1 second. Uh, and the clinical decision support shift from rule based to evidence based. This is another one. That means that I can actually create an application. Now that I understand all the things that I need to learn, I need to do, it actually gives me a whole document with all of the things, things. What do I need to learn? Why it matters, and what is the priority level. Healthcare data systems, I need to know all the data system, all the regulatory compliance, the HIPAA, high tech, ONC, FDA, various FDA rules. Okay. And what are the clinical things that I need to learn. It just listed the whole thing. And I can just, ideally, what I would do, I would create a book for myself. Let's call it a playbook. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. Let me just bring in a Google Drive. Oops. Drive. If I can type properly, Google Drive, and I'm just gonna create, I have a rough folder, rough draft folder. This is where I do all the roughs, draft, and I create a Google Doc, And this would be my playbook, okay? My career playbook. And I'm going to try to do it right. Oops. What happens is whenever somebody is trying to join, my mouse stops or mouse goes to that one to take. So this is my career playbook, okay? And that means I'm building this career playbook. If any of you guys want.
The screen sharing, can you kindly share the screen again?
Yeah, but I lost the privilege of co-host for some reason.
If you can share the screen, then I won't because people joining is disturbing the thing.
I
Yes, now I've allowed.
Yeah, I'm not able to. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good job. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give everybody access to this, uh, and copy the link, and I will share that in. Give me 1 second in the text chat. So you should be able to go in, and then I'll go to the chat GPT. See, so it created this doc. I'm just going to create this, copy this document and go to Google Drive and paste it. So what it just did, it created a full-blown career playbook for me. Of course, if you want, you can start, formatting these things. I'm going to show you some formatting technique that I use because I don't. This is a table. Okay, go to the end of the table, and this is another table, and I can format the table. And again, some of you know it better than I do, but I'm going to show you what I do so that you understand. I'm going to make sure that it's no more than 0.05, and the rows, there is no minimum row height. And I will also remove the spaces before and after. So, and just make it a little less so that this becomes a more readable, okay? So that when I read these things, because I want to read and understand what I'm talking about, okay? FDA, predetermined change control plan, PCCP, what does it mean? So now that I have written a document, my career playbook in US hospital system, US healthcare system, and for AI, it has listed everything. I just created one table. You can create the rest of the tables, whoever wants it. And again, feel free to use it the way that you like. And the prompt, what I'm going to do is I go the end of these things and I'll say prompts used. So I'm going to give you the prompt used here as well. What is that prompt that I used? And which is in my chat GPT. I'm going to go back to my prompt and go to this. And so anybody who wants to use it, and I'll put it in code block so you can copy easily. That's in extension, and some of you guys use it better than I do, but this is what I do anyway. If something is in a code block, I just put it in a code block so that it makes it easy for people to understand. This is the prompt itself, okay? So you get to see that. You can copy it just by doing this. You can create some stuff and blah, blah, blah. So it actually gives a full-blown code block, and you can see how good that prompt is and how this thing is actually planning. Now I'm going to show you a few other things quickly and maybe 2 more minutes, then we'll get to question and answer. So now that you have seen this thing, this is the really good book, this is the industry standard and all those things. What I found out is that, I want to really be super and master expert on these things, and I want to write a research paper, okay, on this one. Then I would say this, okay, and I want to write article on. So again, because of the fact this is one of the biggest trend, uh, uh, do the search, uh, create the deep research prompt for the above. So you notice I'm not writing the prompt because I don't know if I'm going to miss something. I'm going to do this article because every day I have to do what? Two articles because I need to write 100 articles. 100 article would actually make me an expert. Again, maybe I'm doing these things, but you get to see this. You can pick deep research from here, or once it actually writes this article, look at it. I don't know any of this stuff. I have to first read, understand, and learn. How do we know these things? If we don't know it, you gotta study it. Well, I already got a 90-day plan for my skills for 4 hours every day, and this now gives me to start branding myself for the first article. You see, all these things I have to read very, very well in detail, and this is a very in-depth research prompt. Okay, I'm gonna show you again. I used a chat GPT, but let's say some of you might use Claude, so I can go to Claude and let's just take the article that we have, the prompt that we have created right now. Copy the prompt. I'm gonna go to Claude. Maybe you're using Claude. You have the same option in Claude, but Claude is not. Claude is a little different. Again, you have the sonnet, opus, all of this reasoning kind of stuff. But you need to do a reasoning. Make sure that you do it. It's called research. In ChatGPT, it's called deep research. Here, this is called reasoning. If you go to DeepSeek, it's called again research or uh, uh, thinking or something. Not thinking, research. Anyway, so I can actually do this and ask it to do that deep research. Now, why do I want the deep research? I have some MCP servers running in the back. Just so you know, you need to know MCP also very well and becoming that additional 1%. But so why am I doing deep research? Because I want this to be a PhD grade document. Now I'm talking about tremendous and most important in-depth understanding of it, So it says that primary use case would be because of the fact I'm doing some Bangladeshi stuff. That's why it gave me Bangladesh. But I'm gonna copy and paste these things. Policy, client facing. No, I'm gonna say this. My career on as think tank for healthcare. So again, you always say think tank because that means that you want to understand you are the best. Include not international. Okay, that's fine. Procurement required 2 3 section need deepest analysis. Uh, Technical architecture pattern, regulatory compliance. Forget the procurement. I don't want the procurement or the evaluation. Okay. So I'm just gonna, because it asked me questions, because this is the time that you can actually be very, very specific. And some of the meta prompt, it actually would ask you questions so that you can answer, and that would start doing this analysis. And now it's activating the research mode. It costs a lot of tokens to do this. If you have a free version of ChatGPT, I believe you can do maybe 20 of them per month. So take advantage of it and do it. Every month, do 20 of them. I have the ultimate version, $200 version. I can do unlimited ones. But again, I also have that ultimate version here as well. So I'm able to do more, but you should be able to get this PhD level research, understand the whole thing, and write 5 articles right out of here. One. And that actually establishes you as a brand. Not only establishes, now you understand because you're reading these things. You are understanding this deeper than anybody else, even deeper than everybody who's joined this call. So that golden 1% fundamentally makes you a different person. Now, with that knowledge, you could also be a professional. You could open up your own company to build the create that solution, or you could actually do a PhD level research wherever there is a gap. And I can start typing that, hey, find out who is doing research on this, which teachers and which universities. I'm going to show you this right now. Give me 1 second. This one, who are doing research and have funding for PhD for the following. Again, I'm not writing the prompt at this moment, but I'm going to type this list top 10 global institutes, teachers, professors, fund amount, fund source, and details. Include a table as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna do just a Google search or internet search at this moment. But again, you can do a lot more stuff. Anything that you want to do on this, see, this is quick. Deep research does. So NIH, National Institute of Health, a Common Fund Primate AI program. This is multimodal AI for clinical decision support. NIH for this, and forecast is for this. And what is this focus? So I know the funding. Where are the fund? Who has the money? If I want to do PhD on this topic, where do I go? And what do I need to do? Okay. And each one of them actually talks about this. Again, it gives you some teachers. List the professors, universities, and their demand target. Okay, so maybe the I need the teacher. I need to know which school. So Vitali Herasevich, MD, PhD, Mayo Clinic, College of Medicine and Science. They are doing this and they are leading work on this. So now you start talking to this person, and if this is the person, let's see if it is right. I'm just gonna go to Google. I'm just gonna go to Chrome. Where is Chrome? I'm just gonna go to Chrome and go to LinkedIn and find this person, see if it person really exists, if it is real, because I need to validate each one of them. You trust, but you still validate. So this is the person coming up, and then this is the person that you need to reach, and you need to read what they write. Vitally anesthesiology and medicine at Mayo Clinic. So it's right. So he's doing some research in this, and again, you can go to him, find out what he's writing about. You can answer it, start building a relationship with that person. It's based out of Minneapolis, and then if you want to do that research, go just start building. You target 10 of them, reach out to each one of them, write some very uh, highly relevant documents, and 10 people might not respond, go to next 10, and then start and continue going and building that relationship. You need that network. And one person response, you need only one response, only one person that you need to work for. So you list out 10, then 10, you should get there. So I know we don't have enough time, but I just wanted to not only tell you something, but show you a hands-on. And I'll stop sharing and take questions. Adnan, hopefully this was helpful. Everybody was able to understand. And maybe we can get to the question and answer. I know we don't have enough time. Sorry for that.
Perfect. No worries. Absolutely not. And as a matter of fact, what I want to share is that this is one of the sessions that we have conducted, and the retention rate has been incredible. So we've had around 52 peoples or 53 people at max, and as I can currently see, we have 47 right now. So the retention rate is one of the best or one of the highest we've had so far on the mentorship series. So I'm assuming that people are not only joining but also inviting their friends to come along and learn alongside. So with that said, we will take a few questions to really hear your voice. So, sir, if you could kindly read the questions coming in from chat box, we will take about 2 to 3 questions, if that's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fantastic. Let me just look at it. At pace which is tagging, you must stay up to, hold on one second. These are, let me see. Which skill did he mention? Okay. I guess you can go back and read on that one. Please share some first prompt that you did in the second prompt in the chat to get the second. Okay, so I shared the first prompt already in the document. Everything is in the document. Adnan, if you want, you can actually create a WhatsApp group, and even after the end of this session we can share some stuff. I made something through vibe coding and prescription storage app. The problem is how can I share that in a large scale? Again, Johnny Ghosh, why don't I just showed you the trick and create a plan for next 90 days. You wanted to get to 1 million users. You know, what are the strategies, what should work, what shouldn't, and never trust the AI to the extreme, but make sure that take that as an 80% of it, and then afterward you adjust. Going to that, can you please share all the prompts used in the session? Okay. I think the Google Docs, you should have, I shared the Google Docs already. Uh, and I can update. If anybody has any question, you can do that in Google Docs or in WhatsApp. I don't see any other question. I see a lot of questions. Uh, oh, the Google Docs share. Give me
I
one
have it.
second.
Let me just share it down. I have it.
Okay.
And after the session, all of the materials and Google Docs will be shared, as well as our sir and honorable guest has stated, we'll also be sharing a WhatsApp group alongside. So that will be really beneficial for all of us. And
Mhm.
I believe as of now, we're not sharing or seeing any more questions, rather seeing a lot of appreciation texts. And it is true. The students, okay, so someone has raised their hands. Let me just, can you type it out, the question in the chat box if possible? Because we don't really, if it is possible for you to type the question out in the chat box.
While they're typing, what I'm going to do, I have a chatbot targeted for the university students. If you want to create another one, you can. I typically share various LinkedIn articles or social articles or Medium or GitHub. So I share that as a WhatsApp group. It is an approval basis, so I'm gonna try to approve everybody who comes from this particular group. Okay. Um, okay. Sorry, what was the question? I'm a PharmD student, lead generation, sales building, and understanding how business works, and how can I get them to buy from me? I switched because I want a career in consulting. Do you think is a wise move? To me, it does seem good at an entry level, but I'm learning a lot on a daily basis. My peers shame me for this, but I believe I'm making good decision by learning how it actually works in the market. What you take on this? Okay, so if you're moving to sales, there's a lot of things, which is the lead generation. Basically, if you're doing lead generation, it's called SDR basically, and there is a tremendous amount of workflow automation for that. So you might want to look into N8N and go to school.com, skll.com, and register for the school. There are a lot of them are free, and what you can actually do, see a lot of SDR workflows, and some of them as tremendous growth, meaning you can, yes, in the beginning people are not responding to you yet, but then afterward they would respond so many you'd not be able to handle, so you start automating those things. And you need to learn basics of technology on the AI side, specifically N8N workflow, how to run locally and how to run on the web as well. So once you do those things, and you have to do another thing, is called 11 labs. Not sure if you guys are familiar with that. This is a SDR. This is your voice, your tone, your the way that you speak, your culture, your ability to do and convince people. And then, based on people's emotion and their vibration and the talk, it responds exactly like a human being. So you might want to understand those things very, very well. But the SDR has to be primarily, again, horizontally, the vertical focus with the technology embedded into it. If you are an SDR for selling, equipments, so you need to be expert on those technologies and see what that's out there. I think there was another question. Give me 1 second.
Okay, let's take this one last question before we wrap up this session.
Okay. In-depth research in economics for that purpose, which author and which books I should read to gain strong foundation knowledge. Just do that. I just showed you. Do a deep research either in Claude or ChatGPT and find out in the economics what are the next 10 years and what are the things that you need to understand. Just go through that process. Simple as that. And then ask them list in priorities and the most outcome that you can get. Okay? That's for Sakib Hussain. You asked for economics. Then Shamara Shelley. Even though I'm from a non-tech background, I really enjoyed this class. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
There's one last
Uh,
question from Mohammad Awais. If you could scroll down, he's been asking it for a while. So let us just answer him and then we'll just wrap it up.
okay, so quoting from the CEO of DevSync, one of the leading tech industries of Pakistan, a good salesperson of tech is most in demand individual in tech market. Absolutely, this is right. I just told you, like you can be an expert, but if you don't have your message and communication through it, it's not. I've been in the pre-sale side for all of my years. When I was good, I found out the good doesn't mean anything unless you can communicate and you can actually sell that to other people. Selling that to other people, even to your manager, even to your company, even to your customers, you need to tell them this is the reason that you should use what I have produced. That's such a rare thing for technologies. They just want to build their stuff. They don't want to sell. They think people should already need that. People should appreciate it anyway. Why do I need to tell them anything, Or they don't know. The tech people by default has a egotistical mechanism because I know. Of course you know. But you have to show other people what you know. And showing other people what you know is not in tech people's DNA. So that's why a tech person with a sales capabilities are very rare. Again, you become part of that golden 1% if you can do that. Highest paid employees in a company, more than the CEO, is a pre-sales solution architect because they understand technology and they can sell. Highest paid. And that's the team I used to manage for the last 35 years. And this is very rare to find those things. It takes 1 year to find a good one.
Okay, perfect. So with that, we would like to conclude today's session. Thanks to everyone asking out questions, and people have not only joined us from Bangladesh, but also from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. I'm also seeing Bolivia, so many other countries. And yeah, in the chat box, I'm seeing that they're asking for the materials that will be provided in a short time. But before we do that, I'm seeing so many acknowledgement and appreciation for our honorable guest and our sir today. So, and someone also from Myanmar. So, yeah. So, thank you, sir, for doing this and speaking on this amazing session and just teaching us new and more in-depth concepts. I can see more people from non-tech background as well. They're also saying we understood this session clearly. So it has been a wonderful and effective session. And with that, we would like to conclude the Aspire Mentorship Series session with our honorable guest, Mohammad Zaman, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Okay.